Welcome back. I am very tired. I'm pretty much done with the rewiring. I took the cans off. I did want to kind of make a video of it, but I kind of want to get this done before the weekend because I'm busy this weekend, and then the following weekend. So I spent probably about 8 hours rewiring everything on this thing. The only things left, there's only 2 resistors left on it that are original. The 130, you see there, and the 5600, where is it? That's on top of the, I think that's the oscillator coil, there. And this was a lot of fun. The IF cans were a little menacing. Well, the second one here was easy because the wires are wrapped around the little stubs and soldered separately from these wires. The first can here was very tedious. The wires that come out of the windings were actually wrapped around the rubber wires themselves, and it was a ceramic block where the red and white wires went up through the block, over the top, back down through, and then the wires were wrapped around it and soldered. But I managed to get it to soldered back up, and it ohms out, so I guess that's good. Something very terrible happened to this radio, I have to add. When I got down to, you'll see my little combination resistors here, my little series. The resistor that was originally here and the one that was originally here were burned up, and the wire was also burned up around this socket as well. It wasn't just old, it was melted and charred. So at some point in this thing's life, something terrible happened to it, electrical wise. The only thing I could think of was that the 7C7, which was in this socket here, when I tested it, it was shorted. The grids were shorted and the cathode was shorted. Well, actually just about everything was shorted. In fact, a combination of short lights that lit up, I don't think, well, it was just majorly shorted. So I don't know if it got a voltage spike or if, well, yeah, I don't know what happened. I mean, obviously there was an over voltage that caused everything to burn up. But needless to say, like I said, something terrible happened to this poor little radio. So I still have to replace the wires in the switch. Here, I still haven't gotten to that yet. And I still have these last 4 wires here to solder up. And I pretty much used up most of my stash of wire. I started out with about 12 feet. I think about 12 feet of the red wire, and this is all I've got left, is maybe a foot. Although I did waste a little bit. I think one of my wish lists for Santa is a soldering iron that is only gets hot at the very tip. I just need to work on my aim a bit. As you can see from this wire, and this was the second one, I learned not to try to wire straight across when you've got to get down inside, so I guess I'll get better at it. The only question left I have, and I'm pretty confident I've got it correct, is here, this wire here connects to pin 7 on the 7B7, and it would wrap around. The original one wrapped around here. Most of the insulation was missing, but it looked like it was there. It was touching pin, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. It connects to pin 5, but it was touching on pin 4, but it wasn't soldered. So but this is the same ground wire that kind of meanders from tube to tube, so I'm assuming it shouldn't connect here, but I guess it's something to look at if the thing doesn't work. I did manage to move the yellow wire, thanks to Dennis, to the other side of the 220K resistor. What else did I do? I cleaned the switch. Always got to remember to clean the switch. No sense in getting everything else done and having a dirty switch. So I did as best as I could, and I got a little bit of deoxit in there with a toothpick. So I'm hoping the switch is good. The volume control, one thing that I, when I first hooked up the volume control, I mentioned that it only went down to around 250K. It dawned on me after I did that video that the center tap on here is center tapped at 250, even though it's a 500K. But it's still it's still jumpy when I guess I should make this visible for you. It's still kind of jumpy when you oh well, let's see. Okay, so it was actually all the way up. So here we've got 198K, and see, it jumps up to like 260, 259, and then goes down. I think it jumps back up to 201, then to 330, 301, and it back down to 133 as I slowly go up, and then it seems to go down into the regular ohms. So I'm pretty much assuming this is still bad, because if I put it onto the replacement, which is not center tapped at 250, so definitely the volume will be at 0 when this thing's on first turned on. But as you can see, this is a lot smoother going down. So there I am. So I'm down at 5 ohms. So the only concerns I have replacing this is I don't know what the wattage rating is on these original ones. This replacement, which actually is the exact same length, apparently between 38 and 40. This is a Philco control, and it is an actual half moon, not the typical Philco not quite so half moon. Funnily enough, if that's a word, this one is actually a little bit bigger, so I'm going to have to actually grind this down a little bit, because I can't, the knob doesn't want to quite go on here. So in the span of 2 years, Philco went from an unusual, not quite a half moon, to a little more than a regular half moon. So anyway, like I said, that's the only concern I really have, aside from the fact that this is not an original control. But the fact that I can get one for $1.99 that is the same length, shaft length, is a quarter, it does have a switch on it, etc., for just under $2 is good. But again, like I said, I don't know. This is a quarter watt, and my assumption is these volume controls are also a quarter watt. I hope so, because otherwise it's just going to burn up in the radio. But these are a quarter, so I don't really know where else to get them. Anyway, I'll wait to worry, but like I said, I'm just going to make the assumption these are a quarter watt, if nothing more than to make myself feel better. So I'm going to keep plugging at it. I still have veneer piece trying to peel off on the cabinet, so I got to do a little bit more gluing. It was all fine yesterday, and then today I looked again, and there were a couple more spots. They're all on the edges, so it's fixable. If I get a bubble somewhere in the middle, then the only thing that I'm going to be able to do, if it's not heat-sensitive glue under there, well, regardless, I'd have to strip it again, and it either the veneer is going to get peeled off, heated up and peeled off, or steamed and peeled off and re-glued down, or it's going to get replaced. That's going to be a big pain in the butt, but I can get walnut locally, and it's pretty dark considering that it's new, and I don't know how. Well, I guess I'll wait to worry on it, but the old stuff is hard to deal with because it's so dry and brittle, and the new stuff is a lot more supple. So again, like I said, I'll just wait to worry on that one and see what we can do. Anyway, so I'm gonna get back to wiring this up. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update, and hopefully, as long as things go well, it's Tuesday night, so I'm hoping by Thursday we can fire this up. I still have to deal with putting the speaker back in and the new speaker in and all that fun stuff. So anyway, just a quick update on that, and well, actually, let me grab the cabinet. I'll show you. Well, nah, it's all right. I already showed you. Anyway, thanks a lot, and I'll give you guys see you in a couple days.